Right. The next poem I'm going to read is titled Paris to Maryville. I went to school in Maryville, Tennessee. And then from there I came to Paris. So this is a little bit about that. The trains of Paris pull out, pull in all the time. And because I'm on a platform with a bag, I exist everywhere. People look at me and wonder what kind of destination is written on my face. Many of them run by in a flurry, even before the siren rings. I could chase them if I wanted to, but I'm an old cat and I'm in no hurry at all. I'll stand here like a person waiting for some passenger, studying the face of every passerby. If you look at me once, I'll always remember having seen your eyes before. After all, don't good things come to those who wait? If the station master hadn't made eyes at me, I could have sworn he had his own lady back home. Alors, merci mec pour une telle attention. But I'm here waiting for a train to carry me across the Atlantic, through Canada, and maybe Chicago, to go see my woman down in Tennessee. That was Paris to Maryville. I think I'm just going to blow this up. It'll make it easier for me. I'm going to lose your lovely faces, but it'll make it easier for me to read. Another world. Distance is pleasure to feet. I walk up and down these streets so long as the snow touches my face with its fingers, as if the street was a form of penitence. Night has its shadows. The people I pass cast theirs across my monumental shape, like they know I left in the basement where this all began, your letters on a shelf, with the faces of their stamps shocked at the speed at which the years move on. Around the time when our road was plain and we found destructions everywhere, like the day we did it in the Y of a tree and you plucked a plum and ate it till you came. I like the night. I like how it grows and beyond it, trees flock in shadows of furious birds. I move among them with the hand of your snow brushing my face. We were always looking for destructions. And one day at the end of evening, you took me down to the cemetery to encounter stones suspended light. Silence rustled dead leaves. The forest of marble occupied our mind, gave it form. Banyan piercing the layer of our upper world with its stem, pondering two who loved among its trunks. A boneyard is no place for death. The unbreathing are a world waiting to rise again. You hold me in your hand and knead until the dead, aroused, thump the roofs of their graves. I like the night, its time, black with the glimmer of oil, the dark meaning of another world. Thank you. I can hear some hands, but I cannot see you. I've read this poem a few times au Chat Noir during the times and the days when I used to go there, before the pandemic, of course, and many other problems. The poem is called Leaving Home. The slow, soft rain beats on the head of my last days in Maseru. My mother and I sit across the table, talking about another year. There is no animosity toward nature, as there was none against the sun of a few days before. We have forgiven. We said it out loud while looking at each other. We forgive. I think that sanity is light emanating from her eyes. When I gaze out the window, all I see is tomorrow, when this rain will be gone and the sun too, stars which spent last night falling, as if this day needed fireworks. No, tomorrow must come. It is day turned upside down to show what hides within. A handbag shaken onto a table and its contents studied. I found a long-lost Parker pen, dry at the nib. I've made a note to buy a bottle of ink. My mother found a lipstick she didn't even know she had ever had and put it on. Our hands searching among old and new objects in quietness. Somewhere out there, water took a badly placed object, maybe a drum, and rolled it down the street. A torrent was brewing. I knew I was searching for what could never be, when you want to be in two places at the same time. My hand moved over my mother's and found peace in that. And this next and last poem, I believe, just to make sure, yes, is entitled President. There is a name that will come up in the poem. The name is Mohokare. It's the name of a river that is the border between Lesotho and South Africa. The river used to be right in the middle of our country before the Dutch came with their muskets and took much of our land. And the name of this river means right here inside. That's the name of the river, Mohokare. And legend has it that our king, Mushweshwe, complaining that they're stealing our land, said, really, you want to make the border right here inside my country? And it became the name of the river, Mohokare. President. When slaves captured in Africa, partly by the sword, partly by the word, leapt from the Jesus of Lubeck near the coast of San Juan de Ulua to go back home, the sun glistened off their backs just before they got picked out like ducks at a shooting gallery. As children, we crossed the Mohokare to go and pick peaches and apricots on the other side. Loam-fed fruit, watered by cloudbursts of the eyes of men who fought invasions, as spring turned winter into growth again. We broke branches to use as rafts on the way back. But the Boer, who always dashed at us with a gun, never dared shoot, but let us bobble home with our loot. Maybe, unlike John Hawkins, he had no belief in apartheid. Perhaps the river tied our worlds enough for him to value the spirit of its flow. Either that, or he knew the history of the first ship to take folks from Africa. The first time Black people were shot in the back trying to get away. Thank you.